Tim with Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio, and welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Okay, so we're on a Whirlpool oven, and the first thing that we try to do is hit bake, and as soon as we hit the button on the upper oven, we get a display saying that the feature is not available. So I'm just going to cancel that out and check the lower oven as well. And as soon as we hit bake, we also get a feature not available. I am then going to go into the diagnostic mode by hitting cancel, start. And then we'll hit number 3 to go through some of the different options to our faults menu. And then press 3 again, and we get an internal fault F1E0, which is a control failure. So we are now going to replace the control. The first thing that we're going to do when we replace the control is remove power to it, and then there are 2 screws on each side to remove the display so that we can gain access to the control board. We have removed the oven to gain easier access to the control board by removing the screws that hold on this top cover, and it just makes it a lot easier to replace the control. Okay, we have all of our bolts removed. Now we can lift up and remove this panel and have really good access to the control board. We'll start by removing the ribbon cable to the user interface. And there is a little tab you have to push down on the bottom of it to remove that portion. And then the ribbon cable connecting the other side of the user interface. And now we can, there's one ground strap as well that we can remove. And now we have the user interface and have good access to the control board. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this mounting bolt that secures the control panel. And then put the control panel out of the way, put our new one in, and there are these 2 tabs go into 2 slots to line up the control panel. Now we'll replace our mounting bolt. Now we can just proceed to take the old connectors off of the old control board and put them right back onto the new one to avoid any confusion. This way they all go back on there real nice. And one more. There we go. Now we have all of our connections back on, and we'll get the user interface, plug that back in, put the cover on, and keep going. Now we're going to put the user interface back on, and we'll start by plugging in the ribbon cable. Make sure it's properly seated. And the other ribbon cable. We're going to attach our ground wire to the user interface. And then replace our top cover. And replace all the bolts and secure that down. And do the same on the back side. Now we'll make sure that our user interface is properly lined up and reattach the mounting bolts on each side. Alright, we're going to replace the mounting screws for the user interface. And there's two more on the other side. And now we're going to apply power and check to make sure everything works before we put it back in. Now that we have our control panel replaced, we're going to give it an operational check. We're now going to check the upper oven for baking. And we can see that it has the temperature and is preheating. And you can feel the upper oven getting warm, so we'll cancel out of that. Check the broil. It comes up correct. And you can already feel the broil element warming up. So now we'll check the lower oven by pressing bake, hitting start. All the display looks correct. And you can feel the lower bake element preheating. So we'll check the broil as well. Broil element is getting warm. So now we'll reinstall the oven, put the doors back on, and give it a more thorough operational check. So we have reinstalled the oven carefully, and now we're going to put the mounting screws back in and then put the doors back on and continue to operationally check our new control. Alright, now we're going to put our mounting screws back in. And we will reattach both doors, starting with the bottom, and we'll slide each of the hinges into their proper spot. Rotate the door down and put our little latches back on. Check to make sure they close properly, and we'll do the same thing for the upper. Each one in at the same time. Rotate them down, put our latches back in place. One way you'll know is if the light actually turns on and off. And now we'll continue to check our control. Thank you for watching another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.